Let's take a look at how to pass the BIAB assessment. Now, just so that you know, I'm using the marking sheet for our hard gel assessment because I haven't created the marking sheet for BIAB yet, but it will be pretty close. So starting with when you follow the link that will exist by now, you will see a set of rules first. We highly recommend that you both watch this video and read through the rules and click through the entire marking sheet before attempting your assessment. Because, and remember, just interrupting myself to remind you that I have renovator hands and renovator nails and a burn on my thumb. And anyways, just don't at me. Yes, highly recommend that you click through. You can enter your name as test and then still enter your real email address so that you can click through and practice this. And you're allowed to do that as many times as you want. Totally fine. So, with the Builder in a Bottle assessment, we are asking you to do a full set of a structured overlay. So, no extensions, and just a one color overlay on natural nails. We are asking that you have an extension, so as in the natural nail is at least 2 millimeters longer than the fingertip.
I didn't even consider that. I was thinking like a manicure assessment, go for evenness, not...
Well, you're still going to get marked on
not
both
the rules.
So.
I didn't know the... Never mind. Okay. Good stuff. I didn't know the rules.
So the natural nail should be 2 millimeters longer than the fingertip. You cannot extend. We're not permitting you to extend any of the nails to make them even. We're asking you to find a model who has that so that we can see structured application. In other assessments that we have always said you cannot use cover powder or cover gels and things all the way to the cuticle with our extension assessments. You can use any color you like with a Builder in a Bottle assessment. It can be a cover product. It is just single color, not French, like many of the other assessments that we get you to do. We also do allow you to use a top coat, a gel polish top coat, which is also quite different to other assessments. We are still asking you to complete the nails as a sharp square, which is identical to other assessments that we have given throughout our courses. And you must follow all prep steps correctly, so no jumping the gun and going straight to application to finish in time. Your time limit for this assessment is 90 minutes. And let me just remind you, for those of you who have done assessments with us in the past, that similar to those, when you go over 90 minutes, you lose 1 mark per 10 minutes over to a maximum of 10 points lost. So, with the rules out of the way, let's have a look and mark Erin's work. Alright, so the first thing we're looking at is whether or not the nails meet the 2 millimeter length test. And looking at the length here, which I've done looking this way, 8 of them do. There are a couple that don't, and so for that, it's an 8 out of 10 for that question. Then looking at whether or not the length is the same across all nails when viewed from the palm. I have looked at that, and again the same 8 are the same as each other, so that's another 8 out of 10. We're going to look at whether or not product application is 0.5 millimeter from the cuticle to make sure that there's no flooding. And so what I'm doing is just gently pulling the skin back at the back of each of Tony's nails to make sure that the product application is close, but not too close, but also not too far. I would say that the application on this nail, if you can see where the shine ends and leaves a small amount of nail, any more than that, and I would consider that to be too far. The pinky and this thumb are also borderline too far. So as a general, I feel if I give a 10 out of 10, that means it's perfect. As a full set, it's not perfect, but it's not worth taking a point off for each of those nails. They're not far enough to deduct an entire point for each nail, but I can't rightly mark it as perfect. So I'm going to do 9 out of 10 for that, and that's the way that we will always look at marking. Product does not touch skin at all. I can already tell you that it doesn't, so that's an instant 10. A lot of the time when we are marking, we're looking at multiple criteria at the same time, knowing what's coming up. We're always looking as well to make sure there are no air bubbles in the application, and again, I can tell you that there definitely is not. Then because this is an overlay or a structured overlay, we are looking to see whether or not a client's lower arches are intact. So we want the lower arches to come straight out from the natural nail and not taper upwards. Now, Erin is at a disadvantage here because her model did come in with round nails, and that's something to consider when you are choosing a model. It is going to impact you. We're not going to think you're a terrible nail tech, but we are trying to make sure that you are able to leave lower arches intact. And unfortunately for Erin, because she reshaped oval nails, none of her lower arches are intact. Now we're looking to see that the arch from the cuticle is a natural arch. So we're looking to make sure that there's no big sort of step up or hump of product coming from the cuticle area. And so we're just going to look across and make sure that all of the arches from the cuticle are in and like that they're natural looking. I would say that they are, but I know that the next thing that we look at is whether the apexes are correctly aligned. And so that previous question was looking at right back at the cuticle. Is this not a big step? Is it naturally disappearing down into the cuticle? And they were, but there are a couple of nails. So this thumb, it's not bad, but if you compare it to some of these other nails with beautiful apexes, it's a lot flatter and missing one compared to the others. And this one here, it's quite hard to show on camera, but it's a lot humpier than the others. Like, it's actually still beautiful. I'm being very hard on Erin, and I know that she's cringing behind me, but this one is, those two that I'm showing you are not consistent with the rest. The others are perfect. Those two are not, so I can't rightly give her a 10 for them.
As an educator, so I know what I'm actually marking.
Yeah, have a look.
For other students. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's almost more like competition style, like apex and then straight out.
Yeah.
Cool. Good.
And
to
the
know.
thumb, yeah.
And then that guy's fighting the level. Cool.
Alrighty, looking at all nails thickness, we're looking to make sure that they are nice and thin, but still strong. So we don't want it tapering down to absolutely nothing. We want them to be strong.
Oh.
Sorry. And I would say, so we're looking for roughly business card thickness, and I'm happy that all of these are. I'm not going to test, like with hard gel, we test if they flex or not. These should flex. With hard gel, we want them to not flex. The builder in a bottle should still flex. It shouldn't be thick enough that it doesn't flex. Alright, all nails are the same thickness, so I'm going back to the barrel to check whether they are all the same thickness. So this nail here is thinner. I don't know if it will translate on camera, but that middle finger is thinner and tapers right down to nothing compared to the others. Now this thumb, which is the one Tony said our one before, technically the product on top of the nail is the same thickness. However, because Tony has extremely high hypernichiums, when Erin has capped, or not necessarily capped, but sort of applied product at the tip, the high hypernicum directly under the nail has caused some product to stay under the nail slightly, and it gives the illusion of a thicker nail, but I have to deduct a mark for that somewhere in the assessment, and this is where I'm going to deduct that mark. Do you want to look? That hand, the middle finger was thinner compared to the others.
Yep.
And that little bit underneath, like...
Would that not...
You can see the white of her nail travelling through the middle of that bit?
Would that... I don't mind the mark, but for marking... from when I mark students, would that... To me, that looks like I haven't capped the nail fully. It's like when you paint with gel polish and the gel polish is like patchy.
Yeah, like patchy there's no capping, but in this mark is just the thickness. So I'm just looking at the thickness, and there is thicker in that point right there than like...
Is it thicker because it's under, or is it thicker?
It is thicker because it's... No, it's thicker because it's under, because you can see the shine at the bottom there. And you can see her nail travelling through the middle of it. So it is definitely under the nail.
Okay.
Because, like, that part of nail there, like, you can't run across her nail, you hit builder.
Oh, yeah.
So it's definitely under, but you kind of have to take the mark from somewhere.
Yeah. Could you have taken it from Product Touch's skin?
Yeah, I could have if I noticed it before. Next, we're having a look at whether or not the side walls are parallel. So to judge that, I'm turning the hand around and looking this way. And we are looking here to make sure that you have not over-applied product that has caused the sides to bulge, which could be that you've nearly flooded but not quite, or that you did that but then you didn't file to refine them. And also that you didn't taper the sides when filing in general as well. Now this is marked slightly different to the way that the liquid and powder and hard gel assessments are marked, where we are looking for sidewalls that you built from scratch and judging them to be parallel train tracks. In this mark, we are specifically looking for correct product application and just that you haven't taken out the sidewalls with filing, but you also haven't, kind of accidentally flooded. But because these are natural nails, they're not all nails naturally come out like train tracks. So we're looking at it slightly different. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm happy with these for Erin to get a 10. And that's like, so an example is that this nail tapers very slightly, but it's what Tony's nail naturally does. It is not something that Erin created, and so she's not losing a mark for that. Okay, free edges perpendicular to the sidewalls is where we're looking to make sure that you have the ability to create a nice sharp square where the free edge is straight. It's tricky to tell on that one because
yeah, they both do.
And then we're marking to see whether or not there is a seamless blend with the natural nail at the cuticle. Now you can achieve this through application or through filing, depending on your skill level. I already know that Erin has achieved this through application. Well, I know it was through application, but she has achieved this. Now I'm looking to see that there are no visible angles in the contour. Now there shouldn't be in the case of Erin's application because she didn't file, and normally an angle would come from using a file incorrectly. But of course I am still going to check just in case. So I'm happy that there are no visible angles in the contour. To be honest, I would have been pretty impressed if there were, because I think it'd be pretty hard to do. And then the next question on the screen, it's currently worded as no visible scratches or indentations, and that's because I am using a different marking sheet like I described before. In the Builder in a Bottle assessment, this will be smooth finish because we know you're using top coat. We also know that there could be bulges from unrefined application. There could be divots in the top coat if that wasn't applied properly. So I'm looking for a smooth, even finish. This one has a brush stroke in it. The others are all fine, so that's a 9. No lifting caused by overfiling or flooding. I don't need to look. I know that in Erin's case there is not. No damage to the natural nail or surrounding skin. Now I know that there isn't with Erin, but I just want to note for you as someone about to sit the assessment that if there is damage or any marks on the skin, you need to tell your mentor at the start of your assessment. They will note where they are, and you still need, so you won't get marked down for them existing, but you will still get marked down if they have changed in any way. So if someone has a graze that's healing and we notice that it became inflamed or red or bled, you will still lose a mark for changing an existing healing injury or for causing a new injury or damage to the natural nail or surrounding skin. Note that you will also, so that mark that I just gave Erin is an all or nothing 15 or 0, the damage one. So Erin obviously gets 15 points, but I just want to let you guys know as well that if you use an e-file on the natural nail being something completely unnecessary to the service, you automatically lose those marks. You can use an e-file to contour and refine the top if you have to. However, I'd be pretty surprised if you needed to, but we wouldn't remove marks for it. We'd just be a bit confused. But if you use the e-file on the natural nail in any of our assessments, you lose those damage marks immediately. All nails have been finished to a high shine. They have. The table is set in a hygienic and appealing manner. Well, we've been filming for a long time. We're into hour 9. I can tell you that it's not. And in all fairness, I will take away those points. Also, whether the table remained tidy throughout the entire assessment. To be fair, it didn't get worse, but I can't rightly give her those points. And was the student professionally presented? Now, it's a cold winter's day, and when you see Erin on camera in this module, you will see she's beautifully presented. However, I can tell you she's in slippers. So that's a 0. And her assessment was completed in under 90 minutes. I think it was about 45, something like that. But either way, she gets the full marks for that question. Then we're going to check whether or not, as a client, would I be happy to pay for this service? And I would be. I think they are overall beautiful, even though I've been able to pick up a few slight flaws. Nothing's going to ever be perfect. As a salon owner, would I be happy for these nails to represent my salon with the understanding that they had been done by an apprentice? Absolutely. And then we click finished, and we're going to get the score.
I'm nervous for you.
90%. Erin's been panicking that she would not pass on camera, but so 90%. And so if you have any questions before your assessment, I strongly encourage you to ask them well in advance so that you can practice to assessment standards. You can reset your assessment as many times as you like, so don't stress about that. And even if you don't think that you're ready, we all strongly encourage you to sit the assessment as soon as you have done the training, because at the very least you learn from your feedback. Whereas if you just keep practicing by yourself, you don't know that you are practicing the right things that we're looking for. So just jump in the deep end and give it a go, see how your score goes, and then you'll know exactly what to do to improve for next time.